Okay, this meeting is called to order. This is the March 25, 2026 meeting, monthly meeting of the Board of Voter Registration and Elections of Beaufort County. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is public comments. Seeing that there are no public, we'll move on to the next item, number 3, minutes from meetings on December 17th, February 25th, and March 3rd. So let's start with December 17. So this was a workshop discussion on the November 4th, 2025 municipal elections. Do I have a motion to accept these minutes as written? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it's unanimous. Next is the February 25th board meeting. Do I have a motion to accept these minutes as written?
So, second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, it's unanimous. Next is minutes from the March 3rd special called board meeting. This was a Zoom meeting to discuss and approve the early voting center locations. So do I have a motion to accept these minutes as written?
Moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Everyone? Facilities Committee. Okay, so next on the agenda is committee reports, if any. So we'll start off with the Budget and Finance Committee. Mr. Backer.
The Finance Committee met on February 20th. I want to thank Mr. Sweeney for chairing that meeting. In my absence, I participated partially by phone. I'm not sure if the minutes got into this packet. I don't think so. I don't think they did. So there were a number of items discussed, including the operating budget was submitted on the due date of the 20th. What is not included in that budget is any potential spending we may need for assistance and support with traffic control from other entities, and don't have a real good basis for that right now, but kind of an open item of spending that could occur. And one of the largest items in the budget, at least in comparing to 2026, is on third-party maintenance and going from a bronze level to a gold level. And I'm not sure if you've gotten any feedback from county administration on that change, because that had about $100,000 impact. So not sure how that's faring in the budget cycle right now.
We haven't heard anything.
And we outlined a schedule of at least to get some items on, get some meetings on the calendar, some scheduled dates for the remainder of the year.
Any questions for Mr. Backer? Okay, thank you. Next is the Facilities Committee.
Okay, the Facilities Committee just met for about an hour and 55 minutes, and we heard a presentation from the staff regarding the pros and cons of having early voting at the Technical College of the Low Country or keep it here at John Galt. And we're going to go have a follow-up meeting within the next 2 weeks and make a presentation to the board to vote on it.
Any questions for Mr. Swiecicki?
We we've advertised,
Yeah.
we've already advertised that move, so we will have to go back and change the advertising if a decision is made otherwise.
Yeah, that's correct.
Also, we need to make a presentation to the board, full board, to vote on having early voting here for the, was it the May election, to accommodate people that lived in Bluffton and south of the Broad. Instead of going to their local precinct, they can come here and vote before they go home.
So I think, Mr. Swiecicki, I think the Facilities Committee voted on that issue and voted to bring it before the full board for a vote. So the discussion was adding the Beaufort office here as a second early voting center for the May 12th special election for school board. And the incremental effort by staff to host an early voting center is negligible in terms of equipment and in terms of staff time. So based on that, the committee voted in favor of recommending that the board approve Beaufort, this office, as a second early voting center for May 12th.
What was the recommendation from the staff on that?
Their recommendation was to add this as a second EVC.
I move that we add this office as a second early voting.
There a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. All right, so Mr. Swiecicki, you'll schedule another Facilities Committee meeting?
I will send out a
And the-
number of dates,
Okay,
probably tomorrow.
and then following that, there may be a special called board meeting to discuss.
To review this, yes.
Yeah,
It's gonna
okay.
be more involved than just rubber stamping it, so.
Okay, next on the agenda is the Legislative Affairs Committee. So Legislative Affairs Committee met on March 4th, I believe. We do not have notes available from that yet, but we discussed several things, including legislation-related issues or priorities discussed.
Sorry, it's an Amber Alert. That's why everybody's phones are going off.
So we discussed at the SCARE conference are important legislative issues. At SCARE, they discussed support for S37, which pertains to consolidating the date of municipal elections together with countywide and statewide elections. There was a discussion of H3551, which we'll address a little bit later. That's the tax treatment of income for poll workers. They discussed combining polling locations, which is related to S36, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Early voting tabulation, which may be part of S37, and security protection for election officials, that's H3518. So one of the outcomes of the Legislative Affairs meeting was to draft a letter for full board review and approval to recommend that our legislative delegation approve H3551 as written and recommend to our delegation to move forward H3518. Again, that's security protection for elections officials. We wanted to express our support in principle for that bill and request that it get moved to the House floor for discussion and taken from there. So each of you should have a copy of the letter, which was approved by the Legislative Affairs Committee. Do you all have this in your packet? Yes. Okay. So may I have a motion to approve this correspondence to Chairman Herb Kurzman of Legislative Delegation? Mr. Lucas?
I move that we approve to Chairman Herb Kirschman. Of H3518.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Lucas. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, it's unanimous. Another action item we agreed to follow up on was preparing a board resolution for H36, which is a bill that proposes to leave it to the discretion of county boards of voter registration and election to co-locate polling places when no polling place is available in the precinct, and also permits precinct sizes to grow to 3,000 voters instead of 1,500. So the Legislative Affairs Committee will be drafting a resolution, which after voted upon will be brought to the full board for review. Several other things discussed, but I don't think they're noteworthy enough. If you have questions when the meeting notes are sent around, we're happy to address them then. So that's all I have for legislative affairs. Any questions for me? No? Okay, next is the Reprecincting Committee. Ms. Dore.
The Reprecincting Committee has no report at this time, but I question whether we need to monitor the legislation that would increase the precinct size to 3,000. Maybe that will affect whether we choose to meet or not. Thank you.
Okay. Next is Rules Committee. Ms. Johnson.
The Rules Committee is required by our charter to meet twice a year, and we have at this time tentatively scheduled 2 meetings. We intend that they be by Zoom. One will be on May 4th. And
Okay.
report.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is unfinished business. So, one unfinished business item that I have to discuss is meetings that Ms. Felix and I had with the Beaufort County Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and the League of Women Voters. So we discussed these meetings at the last board meeting. The intention of the meetings with these parties was to introduce Ms. Felix, to talk about elections this year, and to discuss how we can work with those organizations to recruit poll workers and to help us communicate information about things such as community forums and the changes to the early voting centers. We had those 3 meetings, I think on March 4th or 5th. And those meetings went very well. We do have a few more meetings to set up with the Chambers of Commerce, with the Sheriff's Department, and a few other, let's call them secondary stakeholders for elections in Beaufort County. Any questions about that?
What was the, just some of the comments from the two, are they pleased with the performance, or they have questions or concerns, or anything of that sort?
I would say they're generally pleased with the performance of the Board of Elections, and that they were very happy to have an opportunity to meet with us and to talk early in the year about election activities during the year. Those 3 organizations are already very active in recruiting poll workers and getting out the vote. So they were very happy to talk about how they might further their communications to their members and their candidates. So for us at the time, it was really important to get the word out about the change in the early voting center locations. And both political parties agreed to not only share the early voting center information with their members, but also with their affiliated candidates. So those candidates, as you know, they're responsible for getting out the vote as well. Any other questions? Okay, is there any other unfinished business that I might? Okay, is there any new business? I have none for today. Okay, let's go on to the director's report.
Okay. So today's director's report is a little bit shorter than the last one. I'll go over a little bit of the legislative updates, upcoming elections, candidate filing, capital improvement projects, and then the clerk hands-on training, the community forums, the new poll worker training, and any additional miscellaneous updates that we have. So legislative updates. So 880, the election schedule, talking about if a candidate, vacates their spot after a certain deadline, then those elections would be held at certain points in the year. It's been referred to since our last meeting. It has been still sitting with the Judiciary Committee, so that one hasn't moved at all. And then poll worker pay, which you guys discuss in the letter that you are going to give to the legislators. That one was read first time and referred to the committee in February, and it's still there. S-128, that is the one that requires voters to prove their citizenship. That one's in committee and has not moved yet. Swiecicki precinct lines, I just checked it a couple of days ago. It still had not moved. So as far as changing the legislative to change that line and put Swiecicki all in, or Swiecicki one all in one location, that has not happened yet.
I want to mention that a couple of days ago, Representative Newton is the attorney for our POA. And our general manager had some business to discuss with him, and he was also.
And that bill has passed the House already. So I can reach out to our state senators to try to move that through the,
Gene, what is the deadline for when we have to finalize polling locations for?
April 6th.
So if this doesn't occur by April 6th, it'll remain as it is, and we'll shoot for.
Yes.
April 6th is for the primary.
Yes.
Okay.
Bills to watch. These ones I'll probably keep on here for a couple more meetings at least. This is the one that would, H3643 and H3310 would require voters to register by party, and then that would in essence give us closed primaries. Those still have not moved. Okay. Okay, upcoming elections. May 12th is on the horizon. This affects approximately 13,000 voters. There's a typo in my report, I apologize. Early voting is April 27th to May 8th. This will just be Monday through Friday from 8:30 until 5 p.m. With now 2 early voting centers, so they will be able to vote at the Bluffton Branch Library or here at our office, should they so choose. We have so far 7, this is as of yesterday afternoon, we have 7 absentee ballots requested for that location. Poll workers have been assigned for this location, and the mandatory briefings, we will have 2 of them in Bluffton, one from 10 to 12 and one from 1 to 3 on April 16th. We'll be doing a post-election audit for those precincts that are involved in that location the day after the election on Wednesday, May 13th at 10 a.m. Those polling locations and precincts, those are the finalized locations for the May 12th election, given the ones that we have that will allow us to use them, because some of the schools are not available on that day because school is in session. And then just as a reminder for you guys, highlighted in yellow, that canvas hearing is Thursday, May 14th at 10 for us to certify that election.
Question, what board members are covering those locations?
Yes.
Jim, just 2.
And then DeFusky's the only outlier.
Is there any need for assistance from other board members?
For the May 12th election, I don't anticipate that there is.
Unless you got. But we do need them for the 14th.
Yes, we need the board
all the
here
board
for the
members,
canvas hearing.
yes.
We need, because we got a vote to certify that.
Okay, so for the May 12 election, can we implement the poll worker feedback sheets that we discussed as a board previously?
Sure.
Okay. That'd be great.
All right. June 9th, the statewide primary. Early voting will be May 27th to June 5th. As of right now, we have 4 early voting centers, TCL Building 10, Room 101, the Bluffton Library, USCB on Hilton Head, and then the St. Helena Branch Library. As of yesterday afternoon, we have had 220 absentee ballots requested. Vernon, do you have the sheet of the polling locations? I'll let him grab those, but we do have the polling locations on that sheet for your review. Mandatory briefings, we had to push them back a week. Previously, poll workers had been told those briefings that week would be the 11th and go through Saturday, the 16th. But since we have the special election on May 12th, we've pushed back the mandatory briefings. So to after the canvas hearing, thank you. And that will be Friday, May 15th to Friday, May 22nd. And some of those will be on Hilton Head, some in Bluffton, and then some in here in Beaufort. That canvas hearing is on Thursday, June 11th at 10 a.m., just as a reminder for you all.
And what time are those mandatory briefings? I see you have 2 of them some days.
Yes, they're, by and large, they all have a morning session. Some have afternoon sessions, some have night sessions. So we've tried to put them at all different dates and times, and by the end, maybe by tomorrow, I'll have you guys assigned, so you will receive the link so that you can sign up for your briefings.
Okay, that's,
Okay. These are the locations that we're planning on using now. Keep in mind, these are subject to change. We have not heard back from the school district yet. A great deal of effort has been put into trying to get the schools locked down, and we have been unable to do so at this juncture. We had a date that we were supposed to have the information 3 weeks ago, and then it was 2 weeks ago, and then it was last week, and we have not been able to get a hold of them since then. So these locations potentially could change if there's a school that's under construction because of the June months, because that's when they like to do all their upgrades and renovations. Any questions on these locations?
are all the locations besides the schools locked down then?
Yes, there is one change. The Scott Community Center on St. Helena is being renovated as we speak. So those voters will be voting at the St. Helena Branch Library for the June election.
You're combining precincts there?
Yes,
Okay.
there will be 2 precincts at St. Helena Library.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good. All right. The November general election, early voting October 19th to October 31st. That is Monday through Saturday until 6 p.m. So it's a day longer in the week and a day longer each day. So far, we have 210 absentee ballots requested for that election. The tentative mandatory briefings, which is my new word for the mandatory briefing weeks, because you never know, is going to be October 5th through 10th, about 1 month prior to the election. The canvass hearing for that one would be Friday, November 6th at 9 a.m. The candidate filing, the partisan filing period ends at noon on this coming Tuesday. Candidate information can be found on the candidate tracking system at scvotes.gov. Now, keep in mind, because we have gotten calls for this, if there is a candidate that's running for an office and they do not have an opponent within their same primary, when you are doing the search boxes to choose the election, they won't be listed under the primary because they won't be on the ballot in the primary. So they would only be listed under the November general election. If they have an opponent in the same party that they're in, then they will be listed in the primary and for general election.
Is that a change on the SEC's website?
I don't think so.
No, it was always like
I just think that we forget 2 years, 2 years separation since the last one. Okay, yes.
When did you say the canvas hearing was going to be from?
Friday the 6th.
For the general election.
Yeah. And then candidate filing for the School Board District 9 special election ended yesterday at noon, and we do have one candidate that is filed for that seat. Christina Guads. Okay. Capital improvement projects, we're still waiting on the completion of the safety glass in our lobby. Generator, again, we're still waiting on that. We've been told it will be somewhere in FY '27. And then the warehouse floor replacement, as far as I know, they still have yet to get that third bid.
That's really just resurfacing.
Right.
It's not a replacement.
Yes. Okay, so we have been training some clerks hands-on training. To date, we've trained about 62 clerks in all of the sessions that we've offered so far. We have 4 more remaining. And I would like to thank, every board member save 2 at this point have attended one. So thank you for your support and attending that so that you can assist us in your locations on election day when clerks have questions. Like I said, we still have 4 more clerk hands-on training. 1 board member is registered for one of the sessions. None of those, with the exception of the March 31st class, are full. So there's still spots available in March 28th, and the 2 April 1st classes, should someone want to attend.
March 28th and what date?
And April 1st still have spots available. There's a morning and an evening session that day. The state certified clerk classes that the state does, we had asked last year to be able to attend just so that we can, for continuity of information distribution, really, to attend one of those. And at that point, we were not able to. What the state has done, though, is they have created a state certified clerk class for the first week in August, to where one member from each county can attend that class. And I will be attending that class on August 4th through 6th. Okay. Community forums. These are all the community forums we had up until today. Our highest attended so far was the one last week on March 19th at the St. Helena Branch Library. We had to put out extra chairs, then we ran out of chairs and it was standing room only in that facility, which has never happened.
Wow.
So it was great. 55. So it was really good. The forums, by and large, this year have been very well attended. I think that that's in part because we have tried to get the word out. You guys have helped us get the word out. So thank you for that, because like we always say, the more informed the voters are, the easier all of our jobs get. So we have 2 more forums scheduled that were on the schedule that we created here, and that will be April 9th at the Hilton Head Library and then April 16th at the Dale Community Center. There are also a couple of more that are scheduled through other civic organizations between now and then.
One April 9th will be at what time?
6 p.m.
Where's the Dale Community Center?
The Dale Community Center is down when you're going through Seabrook on the 21 and you turn onto Keenan's Neck Road. There's a sanitation station there. You turn right like you're going down towards Dale Community Center, Davis Elementary, and it's on the left-hand side. So it's in Seabrook. Okay?
Was near Davis. 'Cause
Yes,
I
it
plan
is.
to come to that.
Yeah, it's
Like
near
right
Davis.
across the street.
It's before you get to Davis, you would make a left-hand turn and then it's right there.
Okay.
New poll worker training. This year so far, the classes have been pretty consistently attended. I would say March 11th was the lowest one that was registered for and attended, but it was still a really great class. My last one before the June primaries is April 15th, and I updated this slide yesterday. And since then, I've had 4 more people register for this class. So the closer we get, the higher the registration for that one is becoming. And I think that the July and August sessions all have 5 or less people registered for it, but the closer we get to those, the more they will fill up as well in preparation for the November election. Of the poll workers that I've trained this year in 2026, starting in January, these are the number of new poll workers each of your areas is obtaining. So Mr. Backer and the vacant spot with Sun City and part of West Bluffton each have 15. Ms. Dore has 4 new workers. Mr. Ford has 8, which several of them just came out of that last class. Ms. Johnson has 6 new workers, and with those 4 extra that I've added to the upcoming April 15th class since yesterday, they're all from that area. Ms. Mitchell, 6 new, Mr. Sweeney, 4, Mr. Swiecicki, 8, and then Mr. Lucas, 5. So we've trained a total of 71 poll workers since January. And then miscellaneous. Poll worker assignment process has begun. Wendell and I are hoping to complete the process for the June primaries within the next week or 10 days. A lot of our workers did not do the availability survey that was sent out. So right now we're in the process of making calls to those workers and filling those spots. By and large, most of our new poll workers from the last 12 months are being scheduled to work. So we're working to spread them out so we don't have 7 brand new poll workers in one location, but they're excited to work. And so that's going to be a huge help for the primaries and the November election. BMD and DS 450 service is scheduled to be completed prior to the June primary. I do not have an exact date right now because right now they are trying to schedule for all 46 counties in South Carolina. But as soon as I have a definitive date on when they will be here, I will let you know. SEC primary workshop. So April 20th is the one for directors and staff. Myself, Vernon, Chris, and Roslyn will be attending on behalf of the staff. April 22nd, we have four board members attending. Mr. Sweeney, Mr. Lucas, Ms. Dore, Ms. Johnson. Those are the only ones that requested to attend, which is a good thing because the state is only allowing 4 to attend. So it kind of worked out to our benefit. Training and outreach coordinator. So the posting closed on March 10th. Wendell and I conducted interviews on Friday and Monday. Those interviews are complete. Now we're just working with the HR process to go through the hiring process to get them onboarded. Sure.
How many people interviewed for the training and outreach?
4.
4.
What's your best guess of the onboarding date?
My request at the beginning of this process was March 30th. I think that's going to be a tough ask. So my best guess would be, since March 30th starts a new pay period, whatever 2 Mondays from that is the earliest. Jane, Mike, Wendell, and I met with, I don't really know his job title, but the man who's in charge of security updates for Charleston County for assistance in getting the COOP plan updated. And those meetings went very well, and our COOP plan update is in progress. So
Are those 3 staff members our team putting together?
they are our team. Jamie's leading the team, and Mike and Wendell are assisting her. And that's all I have.
Would it be possible for Jamie to give us an update at the next board meeting?
Sure.
Okay.
Also, I got a question, Gene. Has there been repairs or upgrades to some of the precincts that were listed where they needed check the air conditioning or the dust down or electricity problems?
You're talking about David Smith?
Yes.
Yes, so that is back to being owned by the community, and I have not seen what updates have been done, but they have assured us that it will be clean and it will be operable before the elections. You're welcome.
Any other questions for Jean? Okay, thank you. So I want to back up a little bit to the Facilities Committee meeting section. There are some meeting minutes from the February 25th meeting that we should vote as a board to adopt. Do you, February 25th meeting minutes for the Facilities Committee?
If I can find them.
And do I have a motion to accept these minutes as written? Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. February 25th.
Yep.
Facilities Committee.
Voted to approve.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the February 25th Facilities Committee meeting minutes as written?
So moved.
Is there a second? Oh. Liz is a second.
I'm a second? I
You're a
thought I moved.
second.
Okay, then I second.
Either one.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, thank you.
And the calendar also that Chris provided you in your packet, that includes all the committee meeting dates from the different committees. So it includes every date you're gonna need this year unless something changes.
Okay, let's find that because I know we have to change the next board meeting. April 22nd, we have 4 people who... How long will your meeting be? Could we do it after that meeting? How about everybody else? This is Thursday, the 23rd of April.
4 o'clock, that's too late.
Well, okay, how about the 24th for everybody? That's a Friday.
Come out. I'm on a cruise.
Okay. How about
Charles and I've already rescheduled twice.
morning, afternoon? Okay. Difficult. About,
Like at 3 or 3:30 I could probably make. 24th.
how about 3:30 on April 24th?
$3:30 is fine with me. 3:30.
3:30 on Friday, the 24th of April? How does that sound for everybody else?
30, you said?
3:30, yes. Okay, so let's go for 3:30 on Friday, April 24th. Okay, other announcements, so, Chris sent out a reminder to everybody, your ethics filing forms are due March 30th. So if you haven't done it, please get those in this week. Another item is, Ms. Felix and I will talk over the next couple of weeks about board coverage for the primary election. As you know, we have one vacant seat in the Sun City area. So we're going to talk about reallocating polling locations for board members. And then finally, next month, I suppose, officially starts the election season for 2026. It's going to be a very busy year. So I want to thank the staff for working very hard to make those elections successful. I know it's a lot of work, particularly during the 2 weeks of early voting and on election day itself. So I appreciate all the hard work that everybody puts into that. Does anybody else have any comments before we adjourn? No? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, Allyne?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know where they are as far as getting another board member?
I believe the opening has been posted at least twice. There are applicants. We're really just waiting for the delegation to have a meeting. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Lucas? Second, Ms. Dore, all in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you.